Evidently, I forgot to add myself to the stream. Evidently, I forgot a couple of things here. What's going on, everyone? We got Jay in the house. We got Chris in the house already. We got a couple of people dropping by. We got something going on there for Ticketmaster. We got Giants Among Men in the house as well. It's a Saturday stream because of the fact that we need to do collect your score to win the Super Bowl ring. So you're gonna have to collect your score. We got Matthew in the house as well. What's going on, Matthew? What's going on, brother? I'm clicking on things. Things aren't working. But you know what? It's 7-2. It's the Giants. I'll be at the game on Saturday. Chris will be there. Chris, for the love of MMA, is gonna be there. Sitting in the parking lot with me. Chris, I just sent you a text. I didn't send you a text. I just sent you a message. Of course, I just got your email today. I guess you sent it yesterday. I need some coffee. It's a long day. It's a long night. 7-2, New York Football Giants going into bring it up against the Detroit Lions. It's one of these games that you thought the game coming out of the bye would probably be a trap game. That was the first thing you thought. That was your first thought process. That's going to be a trap game. But now you kind of reach into this game. You reach into this get back against the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions came off that surprising comeback win against the Bears. I think the Giants are getting. I think the Giants are getting a little cocky. I kind of do. And when you're 7-2, and you had the easiest schedule in the NFL, the first 8 games of the season, I mean, I guess you can be cocky. Guess you can be arrogant. People say I'm cocky. People say I'm arrogant. But I always say it ain't cocky. And I say, well, it ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. But the problem is you got to back it up. And after this game, after this game, the Giants have the hardest schedule in the NFL after this game. And I love it because so many people said to me at the beginning of the season, this was going to be the easy part of the schedule. This was going to be the easiest part of the schedule. Some Black Rifle coffee. This will be the easiest part. It looks like it's going to be the hardest part. And Matthew's asking the question. That's a venerable question. How's this game looking compared to the Seattle game? I have to admit, I'm concerned. You got rid of Hawkinson, whatever the tight end was. You got rid of the tight end, which would have been the bugaboo for the Giants. You got rid of, but they still have a running game. They still have wide receivers. They went through Detroit went through a dearth in reference to scoring points for about 4 weeks, but now they've gotten back on the trail. They've had one of these things before where they were putting up points in bunches. The only problem is their defense couldn't stop anybody. And we have a limited offense because it's limited on Saquon Barkley. I have to admit, I'm slightly concerned. I'm slightly concerned about this game at home. The Giants are only slightly favored, which you would think for these two teams and the Giants being 7-2, Vegas would have said, the Giants need to be a larger favorite than this. They're at home. They're 7-2, but they're slightly favored. I think McJay says, I think at one point the Lions scored the most. At one point, the Lions did have the most points scored in the NFL. They did. They went through like a 4-week span, though, where they didn't really put up any points. But now they're back to putting up points in bunches, and that's the problem. They can put up points in bunches. And I'm sorry, our defense, for as well as it has played at times, is very vulnerable to the run. It's vulnerable to the deep pass. It's vulnerable to the pass through the middle. We've said it before. The ball has been bouncing the Giants' way. The ball has bounced the Giants' way most of the season, and in the games it didn't bounce our way, we lost. And I get worried that the Giants may be looking ahead. And I have to trust Shane. I have to trust Dable that they are corralling their team with the understanding as you can't look past this game because you're going to be looking towards that. You got a short week and you're going to go to Dallas on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day, you have that short week. And you have to hope the Giants aren't looking past their record. And because I've said it before and I'm saying it again, it's not an impressive 7-2 record. It's not. If you look at what they beat and how they beat these teams, but they won, so they're 7-2, so that makes it even better. That makes it even better. And like I said, I'm going to enjoy this season no matter what, but I'm still also not going to tell you. I'm still not going to hide it and lie to you. I'm still going to tell you the truth. And from the other morons on YouTube that are sitting there going, well, if you're against Daniel Jones, the way he's playing, then you're just not a Giant fan, and blah, 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 blah. Screw you. Bend over and screw you. Because you want to know why? Because you told me for years Daniel Jones was the man. He was the best deep ball passer. Now I hear people telling me, well, that's not the deep ball is not Daniel Jones's game. It's the short passing game. Really, for 2 years, you told me he was the best deep ball thrower in the league. Which one is it? Which one is it? You can't just fit whatever you want into the box. You can't. There's a box. You can't fit. Not everything fits into a box. And have a freaking opinion and stick to it. Sick of people that just have opinions and they're like, they change or they have an opinion and then they preface it with, or I could be wrong. This is why I'm quitting. I always think of the movie Tremors with Val and Earl, and they're trying to escape the graboids. And they're trying to leave perfection, and they decide to leave perfection, but they can't get out of town. And Val looks at Earl and says, we left this damn town one damn day too late. That's what I think I'm doing to social media. That's what I think I'm doing with the Giants content. It's just one day too late. Going to Rough Riders roll. What does Zack Attack have to say? Zack Attack says, if you look at the NFC, the current playoffs picture are teams that can run the ball. The playoffs are different than the regular season. It always has been. It's always been since the advent of time. Playoff time, you run the ball, play good defense, and God willing, things will work out. But you need to have some idea of a passing game. I love it because even I did a video. The Dable came out and said, if we have to throw the ball 35 times a game, I don't know if we can win. That's your head coach telling you this. And everyone goes, well, they're blaming the offensive line. He's blaming the wide receivers. Oh, my God. Matthew said they really got to keep playing one game at a time. That's the thing. That's the key. One game at a time. Avoid big mistakes. You turn around and you sit there, and that's what you do. And that's what Dable and Shane have been preaching. You play one game at a time. And you don't look behind you. You look at the opponent in front of you. But I get concerned that some of the Giants, I think are buying into their own hype, and I get worried that this is going to be a huge trap game. That I would not be shocked if the Giants lost this game 35-17. I wouldn't be shocked because of the fact that if you go through the annals of Giants history and look back, this is one of those games that they should win going into a week that is a big divisional game that they might be looking ahead to. It reminds me of the Cardinals game after the Seattle game. Big game we needed to win. Coming off a big win, and then we all know what happened. Todd says, I really hope these guys are grounded. I hope these guys are grounded too. I really do. Daniel Jones needs to stop checking down on plays and shots to take the purpose of the games. Are usually one they lost over the last 10 years. You're right. And I love it because someone, I crack up because I guess during my last rant, I called him Danny effing checkdowns. That's his new nickname. And people were DMing me telling me that was the funniest thing I ever heard. Finally somebody said it. They're like, I like the one person, I spit my coffee all over my computer. Todd says, if we were 2-7, they'd be saying Jalen Jones is a piece of shit and demanding Taylor check. You're right. But there's the thing. Here, I'm gonna be other giant YouTubers. Jalen Jones is a piece of shit and we should start Tyrod Taylor. But that's just my opinion and I could be wrong. I always think of Casablanca too. Honest as the day is long. Pip Dixon says, can't wait to pay a guy $40 million who's averaging one touchdown and 179 yards a game. Watch the new NFL. You look at some of the past NFL passing leaders, and I love how now running the ball is the new NFL. That's not the new NFL. It's been the NFL since the advent of time. But I love it. But this is such the new NFL that, let's see, 427 attempts, 386, 376, 366, 360, 354, 348, 341, 300, and you have to go all the way down to look at Daniel Jones, and it's 237. thrown the ball 237 times. Jared Goff has thrown the ball 301 times. 301. The person in the league that has thrown the most passes is Tom Brady at 427. But the advent of now the NFL is running the ball. Patrick Mahomes, 2,936 yards. Tom Brady, 2,805. Josh Allen, 2,733. Aaron Rodgers, 2,542. Joe Burrows, 2,535. Geno Smith, 2,474 yards. And you go down to the list, second to last from the bottom, below Andy Dalton, 1,569 yards, Daniel Jones. Your quarterback is statistically the worst of almost every quarterback there is. Even when you have stats that people are showing, even when you have stats that people are saying, well, these event stats, no. And then people are going to tell me if I'm against Daniel Jones, I'm not really a Giant fan. Shut up. People are going to get on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and everything and tell people that if you don't root for Daniel Jones, you're not a fan. You're an idiot if you tell people that, because you know what? You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want in this world. And some moron who knows nothing, who's on social media telling me something, sorry, not listening to it. What does Jay says? Jay says, I would hope Dable and Kaf could go figure out how to use a KG and pay. I hope they do too. And he's not a poor man's Ryan Tannehill, because Tannehill actually can throw the ball. I hope they do figure it, because like I said, I think the KG thing is mental. I really do. I really do. I think we've reached a point now that it's a mental process. It's a mental issue. It's something that, there's sometimes I always hearken back to Mackie Sasser as a former Mets catcher who couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher. And it's difficult when you're a catcher to throw the ball back to the pitcher. And not be able to do that. It makes life a little bit more difficult. So when you got a guy catching the ball who can't catch the ball, and you could see it's almost like he's waiting for the other shoe to drop. It really does if you watch him play, and you could see his body language on the field. And like I said, there was morons in the stands last Sunday that kept screaming about Kenny. I mean, they literally spent the last two quarters, I'll say, 2.5 quarters, screaming every 3 minutes about Kenny and how he sucks. See, I've calmed down in my old age, because old Tim would have turned around and told him to shut up. But I've calmed down in my old age. But that doesn't help. Even Carl Banks says you need to rally around Kenny G. You got to rally around him. Getting on him 24/7 when you need him does not help. Because when the weather does get cold, you are going to rely more on the running game. But the problem is, if you're going to, teams are going to figure out, they already have actually, put 7-8 in the box and stop Saquon. Shadow Daniel Jones and cover the tight end on the play action rollout. I don't know why we don't run the veer. The veer is like 4 plays, the entire veer. I'm gonna Rough Riders roll. What does Matthew say? Matthew says that it's never going to happen. Lowell Jones is going to be cut, and they only bring him back on a team-friendly deal. I don't think that's going to happen. What's going on, Pip? Names like back. Great example of it. The Bills had the number 1 ranked defense last year, and they got into a shootout with the Chiefs. If your quarterback, that's a great point. And even to my point, when I was saying before, usually in the playoffs, you win with defense and you win with running the ball. But you get into situations, and there's been multitudes of situations where you get into a shootout. You can harken back to the old Bills the old Bills shootout. Was it when they played when they were the Oilers of Warren Moon, and Frank Reich had to come in, and the whole game was a track meet. It happens. And just like last year, Bills had the number 1 defense, well said, and they got in a shootout with the Chiefs. You have to have the ability to move the ball down the field. Zach says, it's interesting to see the shift in the NFC East. Yeah, I don't think it's really a shift, because actually, if you look at the NFC East and you look at the statistical passing leaders, a lot of them are in the East, are in the NFC. So, I mean, like I said, there's still, it's a kind of a misnomer, Zach, but it's still a passing league. It's always going to be a passing league, because you use the pass to set up the run. It used to be used to run to set up the pass, but in this league, it's kind of gone the opposite. Why do you think Kafka threw the ball like 17, 20 times in the first half of games, and then threw the ball like 6 times in the second half and just ran the ball because he was setting it up. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of in reverse. It's like I said, it's weird because he, like I said, used to set up that used to run to set up the pass. Now they're using the pass to set up the run. Kyle says, I really like the offensive line is getting healthy deep in the season. I hope it opens up the passing and keeps up the running game strong. I don't think our line's the problem. I don't think the line is the problem. I really don't. Gonna Rough Riders roll. Zach says Daniel Jones is a poor man's running. No, he's not. But that's okay. Daniel Jones is a third string quarterback. Doesn't matter if he's starting. He's going to get paid over 20. He'll be lucky to get 10. You know what the problem is? You have to be fearful that they go the Leonard Williams route. I love that because Dom the other day pointed out that Leonard Williams,
king of the almost sack,
had 10 quarterback pressures. No sacks. 10 quarterback pressures. Giants among men, unfiltered Tim. It's unfiltered Tim. It is. What are you going to do? You know what? I'm leaving on a jetway. Don't know when I'll be back again. Kadarius Toney is happy over in KC. Kadarius Toney, you know what's funny? We need weapons. We need weapons. We need all the weapons in the world for Daniel Jones. You had Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney had a touchdown. That should tell you something. Kadarius Toney didn't want to be here. This is a poor man's Dave Brown. Hey-oh. Poor man's Dave Brown. I like that one a lot. What does Michael says? Only 2 teams in the top 10 rushing with bad passing offenses are playoff teams, the Ravens and the Giants. Actually, you know what the problem is? I don't think the Ravens are a bad passing team. I think you get more out of Lamar Jackson. I just think the fact that they are using Lamar for the running purposes, and I just think that's the way the offense is built right now. Ever since they traded what's his name, the wide receiver, and the other guy hasn't really panned out. So, so I really don't think. I mean, it's not a bad analogy, but I really don't think that's what the Ravens are doing. I think the Ravens could turn on the passing game anytime they want, to be honest. What has Blair said? What am I going to do starting next year when you're not here? No one else tells the truth. You can go to Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. That's the new podcast. Go there, listen to it. It's not sports. It's everything else under the sun. I have to give myself a shameless plug. We've already hit thousands of downloads. I think we have something like 67 5-star reviews. It's been going good. It's been going great. It's been fun to do, to be honest. It's been a good time. It's been fun. And like I said, I never thought a podcast would take off like it did. But because you always think you're pigeonholed into sports and other things, but like I said, it's got what are we up to? No, we have 78 now. 78 5-star reviews, multitudes of downloads. If you're on iTunes, here you go. I'm gonna post a link. I'm gonna post a link on iTunes. There you go. There's the podcast. If you want to, I'm gonna put it into a banner too. So if you want to go listen to the podcast, I mean, the podcast is a lot of fun. We've been having a really good time doing it. It's been fun. It's been great. It's been beyond well received. There's the podcast, so make sure you go check out the pod. Everybody loves the pod. Everyone loves the pod. It's just me talking about everything else under the sun. What's up, Mr. Authentic? How's it going? Everything's going good. Michael says, what does Michael say? The shift to the running game in the NFC is especially because of quarterback play and it's subpar. The quarterback's play and teams are subpar. It's not really the quarterback play. I always love it because you always have this shift. There's a dichotomy thinking of that the quarterback play is bad. There's no good quarterbacks in the league. The NFL runs in cycles. It really does. It runs in cycles. So sometimes you run the ball, and this season's been so wacky. We should run the Maryland one. We should. Kyle says, I really want to see Kenny G. I would like to see Kenny G turn around. I like Kenny G. I think Kenny G is a good guy personally. I think Dan Jones is a good guy personally. But right now, I think Kenny G's got a mental issue. I think he's got a mental block. And it's really bad when your number one wide receiver, its mental block is catching the ball. That's not good. That's a bad thing. What do we say here? What do we got? Prime Time says we have to have weapons to get into a shootout. Name me Tom Brady's wide receivers in his first Super Bowl. I always love that because people always come back with Deion Branch and this. No. Their first Super Bowl win. And there's been plenty of other teams that name me the Giants wide receivers outside of Mark Bavaro in 1986. Name me the wide receivers for the New York Giants in 1990 besides Mark Ingram. What do we got here? What does Peter say? Sunday will be the perfect game for Daniel Jones to show he can pass. I personally think he's got protection. Here's the problem with Daniel Jones. I always hate this. He holds on to the ball. I believe he's either the first or second amount in the league. The amount of time in the pocket, Daniel Jones is either first and second in regards to holding onto the ball. That's not a stat you have if you have a bad offensive line. Maybe some of the problem is he's not getting rid of the ball. And as someone that has gone to all the games, and I sit there and I always tell you this. It's great to watch on TV, but unless you're at the game, you don't see the whole field. You don't see everything in front of you. And even Carl Banks last week pointed out on two separate occasions, Daniel Jones had wide receivers wide open downfield, and he checked down, that he didn't even look. Even Carl Banks pointed that out. He got blasted on Twitter 2 weeks ago because he pointed out the fact that Darius Slayton had nobody around him. Daniel Jones rolls out to the same side. He doesn't even look, and he checks down to Barkley. Two regimes have made him a check down passer. And for all the idiots that are out there saying, well, Joe Judge says he would run through a wall for Daniel Jones. You hated Joe. You love Joe Judge. You hated Joe Judge. You made fun of Joe Judge. But now that he says something nice about Daniel Jones, you're going to say what a wonderful guy he is? Makes my fucking head hurt. Amalthus says, could put the Titans in there with the Ravens and the Giants. You could, but Tannehill is, Tannehill actually just threw for over 300 yards in that win the other day. Mr. Authentic says, what, you're leaving? I'm leaving. February 17th is my last day. I'm just done, Mr. Authentic. It's just, it's just time to move on, time to do something different. And I'm also just tired of stupidity. I really am. I'm tired of social media. I'm tired of content creators. I'm tired of them all. I'm just tired of the stupidity. Because of the fact that people can't have a thought without people attacking them for having a difference of an opinion. People can't sit there and question things, because then if you question things that you're a hater and you're this and you're this and you're that, you can't sit there and tell me something. I love what we just talked about a minute ago. I just want to think people sit there and go, they have these great epiphanies and then back it up with, I could be wrong, or that's just my opinion. Have an opinion, stick to it, and be a man. Man up. Tim's podcast is good workout listening material. Good workout listening material. I didn't hear that one there. Yeah, but join the pod. The pod is good. Even Kyle says the new pod is really good. I appreciate it. The pod, like I said, the pod's been crazy. The pod is blown up. I mean, it's any place that you can find podcasts. It's Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. It's been nutty. It's been a really fun ride. What's up, OG Knockout? If Daniel Jones was on the Eagles, Giant fans would be killing him like they do Jalen Hurts. You're right. Lionel Manuel was on 86. Lionel Manuel. You had Lionel Manuel, Bobby Johnson. You had Zeke Mowat. Stephen Baker was in 1990. But these aren't household names. That's the point I'm making. Stephen Baker had a good career with the Giants, but he did not have a all-pro career for the Giants, or he was never in the top of the leaderboards. Bobby Johnson had one good season in 86, bad season 87, sent over to San Diego because of his drug issue in 88. I like Zach Texas. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl wide receivers, Madden generated players. Yep. That's Phil McConkey. I always forget Phil McConkey. I always forget the former Navy fighter pilot. Came out of the Naval Academy at 27 years old to be the towel waver for the Giants. But McConkey, I liked McConkey. The only problem is his forte was special teams and returning punts, but he only got you like 6 to 7 yards on the punt returns. He wasn't a Leon. Go look up Leon Bright. Leon Bright for the Giants was awesome. He never called for a fair catch. I don't think he ever in his entire career he called for a fair catch. And the one time at the Giants that he should have called for a fair catch, he got rocked. I remember the Giants fans being as delusional in the 80s. Now they are. It's a young fan. I think it is a young fan base. You know what? I'm old. I admit it. I'm old. It's a young fan base. That's why you have to go listen to Get Off My Lawn, the Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. I'm going to talk about music next week. Next week, there's a really good pod next week. I talk about the musical influences that there was a club in Trenton, New Jersey called City Gardens, and how it actually was the jump off point for some major bands, and how the fact that I saw Nirvana there, Green Day, Black Flag, the Ramones a bazillion times, Guar, Dead Kennedys, it was the kickoff for one point for punk, hip hop, and grunge, because they even had dance night there. I mean, I saw Public Enemy there. I mean, there was it's a good episode. I want to talk about that though. Zach said Gen Z moving the goalpost is nothing new. I hate my generation. OG wants to say, well, when you're done, I'm done too. You're the only real one, Tim. I appreciate that. I might keep the podcast up. I might keep the online Big Blue podcast active, so I can do maybe videos once a month, podcast maybe once every couple weeks. So I think I'm going to do that too. Matthew says, "Dang, you're shutting down shop. How are we going to stay connected?" We'll be around. Like I said, you can come find me on the new pod. You still can follow that. I'm going to try to we're going to start putting this new pod up on YouTube as well. No fancy thumbnails, just just whatever it is. I always love it because whoops, then now the end is near. I'm gonna face my final curtain. So here you go. You know what? I'll give you a little preview for a second here so you can hear the intro for the new pod.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Intro for the new pod.
You don't know what that all is, Mr. Trash. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
We've said it always. We've said it once before. The truth shall always set you free. This is Tim. This is Get Off My Lawn. The Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. Oh, there you go. That's the intro for the new pod. Go find the pod. Go find it. It's everywhere that you could possibly find. Mr. Authentic says, "Damn, I always dug your content. I dig your content too. You're one of the few people that don't want me that are on YouTube that don't want to make me puke. You're one of the few people that actually sits there, speaks his mind, tells the opinion, tells the truth. And you know what? You let the chips fall where they may. So I appreciate that, Mr. Authentic. You help bring balance. I'm bringing balance to the force. Well, we're having a couple in a row for Mr. Authentic. There's a lot of children, immature adults on the internet. There are. That's why I'm leaving. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm getting a headache. Stephen Baker's the first player I thought I was a true fan of. I love Stephen Baker because he looked like a twig. Stephen Baker, my forearms were the size of Stephen Baker's legs. Great. I mean, he was Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker. Blackbird says, "What's up, Tim? Just got up. What's going on, Blackbird? We're gonna do our score. Don't forget to do your score thing. We're gonna do the score contest for the Super Bowl ring coming up in a few minutes." OG says, "I'm old too. 30. I got underwear older than you. 38. What the hell is that? Oh my God! Hold on. I lost the ring. I found it. There it is. Hey-oh. Wonder Twin Powers activate. 40. Then you're understanding it. It's funny. James Williams is almost 40. And I laugh because I talk to James daily. And he even said to me, he goes, you know what? The fan base is just different. And he's like, and maybe it's because maybe it's because I've gotten older that I understand now some of the things that you have been saying to him. And I was like, oh, I appreciate that. Blair agrees. I agree. Zach Attack says, I remember in 2011 when the Giants made the playoff, people started saying Eli Manning was getting carried by the defense in the running game, despite being ranked 22nd ranked and 32nd the last. I know that we had a bad defense in 2011 that stepped up into the playoffs. We had in 2007, we had a good defense, which didn't understand the coordination. Didn't understand the coordination of the offense from Spagnuolo in the beginning, because we gave up something like 80 points in like 3 games, and then they figured it out. We'll be fine. Hey, what's up, Sal? You'll be missed, Tim. The community is about to get a whole lot dumber without you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm still going to be around. Don't worry about it. Chris, another content creators usually are delusional. It's time to start calling them out. Daniel Jones isn't a franchise. Oh, don't worry, OG. I got a list. I got the receipts and deleted tweets, as my wife always says, because I got a list. Oh, no. The toothpaste contest lives on. You're up. I got a list. Got a list, man. I got Discord chat screen. I got Discord screenshots. I got DMs on Twitter. Oh, it's going to all just trickle down. It's a trickle down effect. God, I wish I was a small person. Hi, Tim. Let's talk. 12 likes, 26. Do math. LeVar, the math ain't adding up. To the 16. I got about 16. You need to get up to 6. Come on, we got to get up to 30 because I can only stay on for a short period of time because I got a lot to do because I got to go to the game tomorrow and I got jury duty. Blackbird says Detroit offense scares me. Their ability. It does. It should scare anyone. Their ability to put up points. It really should. Block all the delusional fans and keep the real ones. If I blocked all the delusional fans and kept the real ones, I think I would have like 200 subscribers. Let's see. What does Kevin say? Kevin says, well, if we're throwing ages out there, I'm 50 going on 70. My wife always says I'm 50 going on 12. Kyle says the 2011 Giants team was built more like 2017. That's my unpopular opinion of the day. No, it's not an unpopular opinion. The offense was very similar. Just the defense was better in 2007 than 2011. Jay is 22. LeVar says, I am not happy at all. You're leaving. What about guys like me who at times needs a reality check? I've been watching you since my 11th grade year. I believe I'm 24 now. Tim, don't do this to me. I think it's funny, though. You know what's crazy? And maybe because I try to take too much of an investment in some of the people, some of the subscribers. I've watched people graduate. I've only been doing this for 3 years. I watch people graduate. I've watched people go out and get jobs. I talk about one subscriber, I'm not going to mention him by name, that I watched him go to school, graduate, get a job as a weatherman. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But like I say, we'll still be. So we'll figure something out. Sal said, giant content creators falling over themselves to proclaim Danny checkdowns deserves a contract. They're going to be the same one saying he knew it when he is gone the day Schoen sends them packing. The day Daniel Jones has a bad game, they're going to just rip him. They're just going to rip him. And I'm worried that tomorrow is going to be that day. It's if you want to go into Webster's and pull out the ultimate definition of a trap game, this is it. You got Dallas on a short. You have an important divisional game on a short week on the road. You're looking at a bad Detroit team whose defense can't stop anything, whose offense can be prolific. And this would be, to me, the ultimate trap game. That's what I get concerned about. How does MetLife feel like home field now, or does it feel like a corporate? I hate to say this, there's not much of a difference in the stands. There's really not. You have more idiots, I will say that yell things that make zero sense. But the ability for a home field advantage, is it louder than it was last year? No. Is it louder than the old Meadowlands? Oh, no, not even close. The old Meadowlands used to shake. The old Meadowlands, man, you would feel the vibration through the concrete. That place was a concrete dump. I always talk about Shea Stadium being the dump, and I love Shea. I really do. I love Shea Stadium. I loved sitting in the left field upper deck. Loved it. Left field upper deck. Because the whole thing would sway. And you would swear to God planes were going to land on your head. It was great as a kid. Kevin says, hey, Tim, since you're ditching, do you have a recommendation on who's the most honest or who you think I can listen to? I like Mr. Authentic. You should go listen to him. He does a show with the beard. I think he gives, and I think he does a show, something Giants. Oh God, Mr. Authentic, if you're in the chat, what the hell is the name of the show you do? I think you do it on Tuesdays. I watched it once. I can't think of the name of it. And it's I don't know. I don't know. Mr. Authentic, if you know the name of your show, tell them what it is. Something about overhype Tuesday or something like that about the Giants. Kevin says, my wife says I am 10. My chiropractor has says make it closer to 70. Hey-oh. LeVar says, we're going to protest about this. Trojan Dan Jones knows he's in a shootout tomorrow with golf. It's going to be Manning versus Breeze vibe. Giant overreaction. There you go. That's the name of the show. It's evidently on Mondays. I also like a new guy, Big Dash Knows. I like him. And I just did a Twitter space, and I don't remember who it was, but they were good guys. They're really good guys. I'll try to find out who I did the Twitter space with, but they were really good guys too. So Mr. Authentic, he's good. He's going to carry the mantle. So go to his channel and subscribe now. And I don't know what your channel is. I would tell you. What do we got here? So go see Mr. Authentic, but he's good. And like I said, I like Big Dash. He's another good one. Let's see here. Let's go back to some of the ones that I missed. What does LeVar say? We already got? I think we got that one from LeVar. LeVar OG says, if we can't beat the Cowboys, we're in trouble, Tim. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to beat the Cowboys either. I don't think the problem with the Giants is they are beating up on teams, but the problem is they are not beating up on they're not. I mean, they're beating. I should rephrase that. They are beating the bad teams, but they are not beating up on the bad teams. They are barely winning. I said it the other day. I thought the last week should have been a statement game for the Giants. I thought that they should have come out and they really have attacked them and gone forward and really Sally ho and really just put it down and made a statement. Here's the Authentic in the Beards channel. There it is. Where did I do it? There it is right there. Here. There it is right there. Go to Authentic in the Beard. Go subscribe. He's gonna be taking over the mantle for online Big Blue. I know they're big shoes to fill. Not really, only 11s. Let's see here. Let's go begin then on a jet plane. Blackbird says Kenny G's first touchdown will come tomorrow against his former teams. I really hope he does. What's up, Charlie? It's all good. See, Authentic. There we go. Our channel's Authentic in the Beard. There you go. Thank you. I couldn't remember your channel. Didn't Jones already have a bad game against Dallas? Yeah, he did. But it's all good. It's all good. That's more O-line's having a bad game. The O-line, you know what? The O-line is actually pushing forward. They're pushing the pile forward. Make sure you hit the like button. Only 21 likes. They're pushing the pile forward. They're moving forward. And like I said, when your quarterback holds on to the ball first to second longest in the entire league, there's a problem. There's a problem. You're not getting rid of the ball. Charlie's just having a good time. Tim, that was Sal. Oh, hey, Sal. Oh, that was Sal. Sal, what was the but I had to set up a channel first. Oh, Sal, what was don't you have Sal? There's Sal. You guys don't have like a thing you do it weekly? I thought you said you did it weekly. Sal. I love live streams, and I love whatever hell this program is, StreamYard. I love it, but the problem is when I want to talk to somebody, I got to talk to the screen and read the fucking chat. Anyone heard of a phone? Sal, what don't you do it weekly? Isn't it a weekly Twitter space you do? You guys were so whatever the Twitter space is, Sal, go Go post or something somewhere. Michael says, I have us going 3-6 in the best of the second half. It's possible to go to 1-5 in the division. I agree. I do think it's possible to go 1-5 in the division. OGR, we're just dropping facts with OG. We got Zach Attack coming in and said, this game is a must win because the NFC East is stacked, but they need to stay focused on Lions. And that's what I'm worried about. They need to stay focused on the Lions. Kevin says, hey, Mr. I think it's not letting me subscribe for some reason. Well, because you're not supposed to be freaking subscribing while I'm talking now. You're leaving? I'm leaving. February 17th is my last day. My last day. And there's the new pod on the bottom. The Mad Ramblings of a Gen Extra. Go listen to the new pod. Go listen to the new pod. The new pod is awesome. Everybody loves the new pod. And if you don't, I'm sorry. I like it. It's fun to do, the new pod, that is. So, but here we go. Everyone go to Mr. Authentic's channel. Here, I'll create a banner. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. I am so like official. There you go. There's Mr. There's my new channel. Authentic in the Beard. That's my new channel. Go there. Subscribe. I'm going to be a reoccurring host. Mr. Authentic doesn't know that yet. I'm going to tell him now. I'm a reoccurring host. Zach said, this game is a must-win. Oh, I already read that one. Yeah, it's just time. It's just time to go. Kevin, I need to restart the YouTube. You do need to restart YouTube. Everyone needs to get a channel. Kenny G is getting into the end zone tomorrow. It's going to be when he's walking out of the tunnel to get on the sideline at the start of the game. The problem is they don't go through the end zone. They come out of the end zone during the introductions. When they leave the field, it's off on the right side of the coaches club in the far corner. That's how they go back into the locker room. Little semantics. Underwear holder. Yeah, that's always good. Charlie gets it. Now, what does the chef say? Cowboys will be banged up. We'll get healthy. Mark my word, we beat the Cowboys. I don't know. Evidently Ezekiel Elliott's going to be healthy. You got Pollard. You still have their wide receivers. You're in Dallas. Twitter Space is almost daily. Okay. All right, that's good. Old enough to remember the fair catch would ruin the game. Yeah, I hit the fair catch and commercial brings. James, I miss you, brother. Scholars, harlots. What's up, James? Evidently, James, you forgot my telephone number. Just throwing it out there. And don't give me the excuse. I've been working. You forgot my number, didn't you? What's up, James? I can multitask. Here we go. R0B host Monday through Friday Twitter Space. I usually hop on 12 to 1. Okay. All right. So there we go. That's it. Go under that too. Go under that too. Big Tim, you'll be missed. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. I am taking the under. No, Tim will not be back next year. Tim will not be next year. Tim is done. Tim tired. That's like I used to say in college when people would make fun of me, and I'd like, because I was smart in college. I was an athlete, but I was still smart, and people would always be shocked. And I would say something intelligent. They would be like, and I'd be like, yes, Tim can read. Pretty bad in college. And like I said, it probably didn't help that in college my nickname was Mongo. That probably didn't help my dilemma. You're very welcome, Mr. Authentic. Edward says, I'm sensing more negativity than positivity in this chat today. Hey, listen, I'm going to take games by games and by game, but I do think the Cowboys is a winnable game any Thanksgiving day, any given Sunday. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. You will be missed, honestly. I appreciate it. Let's see. Edward says, I have a channel, but it's me playing video games. We also have here, as for Detroit, they are no couch potatoes, but it's a winnable game, but I get worried that it's going to be a shootout. I have a winning.
That's what she said.
Tim, you have a special package heading your way soon, brother. Yeah, you're coming to the house in December. Oh, tell Mrs. James or Ms. James, mac and cheese, please. Big L's already committed to something. I need some mac and cheese. Okay, just throwing it out there. Leaving. As Michael says, I am convinced Odell signs with the 49ers or Cowboys using Giants leverage. Thought he's not signing with the Giants. He's going to want a 2-year. He's going to want a 2-year deal. He's going to want a guaranteed 2-year deal. He's not going to sign a contract for 4 games, or whatever is going to be left in the season, and potentially the playoffs. He's not going to sign a contract, but he's going to want to come back on a guarantee. What player at almost 30 years old, coming up multitudes of major injuries, is not going to want a final guaranteed payday? And I think, shockingly, I think Jerry Jones and I think the 49ers will give him a guaranteed year 2 on the contract. Shane's not going to do that. I don't see that happening at all. I could see the Odell the Niners. I think he's going to end up in the Cowboys. I really do think he's going to end up to the Cowboys. Kevin says, if you make the playoffs, you think we might still have a chance to get rid of the kid from Tennessee. It's a little too early, but there's some good quarterbacks, honestly, coming out of this draft. I'm not comparing it to 2004. I'm not comparing it to 83 yet, but there's going to be some quarterbacks in there. Charlie says, land of the Giants. The Authentic says, the Commanders having a bye week, then playing us again is really annoying. Yeah, I worry about the Commanders. I worry about Heineke. I really do. I don't worry about Wentz. But Daniel Jones early on in his career always had the Washington team's number. I think Heineke's got the Giants number. Some quarterbacks just have that. I mean, it's not that, which I don't know. I wish the Entertainer was leaving. Instead, he thinks he knows everything about the Giants because he's an idiot. Plain and simple. Don't play the game. Don't do anything in the game, but you're going to have a channel and talk about the game, and then you're never going to have an opinion. Your opinion is going to be, I could be wrong. No, before that, something in the mail. Yes, mac and cheese. Oh, yeah, some mac and cheese. Yeah, December mac and cheese. Remember seeing Seahorn losing his pants on the field. Yes, I also remember him blowing out his knee on turning a kick in a preseason game. What's next? Say Giants can't win a shootout. They're built on the running ball. Seattle showed the formula, and technically the Bears showed the formula as well. Very simple. The Giants rely on the play action rollout with Daniel Jones. The Bears figured out in the second half, which I don't understand why it took them so long to figure out. Figured out in the second half, you shadow Daniel Jones, you cover the tight end, you've now limited his options. It's a 3-yard run. And Seattle used the same formula. And in some ways, last week, the Texans used the same formula as well. And people say, look at his percentage for 7 for 19 on this. 55 yards. Out of the 100 whatever yards he had, 55 came on a busted play by Darius Slayton. And Darius Slayton was lucky to catch that ball because it was a bad throw off of his back foot. And Darius Slayton was lucky to catch it. And the defender we were lucky he missed, or it's a 2-yard gain. And also, we played the Texans. We didn't play the Ravens. We didn't play the Chiefs. We played the Texans. There's something very wrong here. Edward says, you'll be missed, Tim. You, Bad Dog, are one of the 2 giant YouTubers I watch. Let's see. James says, Chris isn't going anywhere. He makes too much money speaking nonsense. It's true. He's not lying. He's not lying. Forget the Lions. We're everyone's thoughts on the big turkey. Yeah, like I said, well, James, I was just saying I'm concerned that this is going to be a trap game because of the fact that the Giants may be looking ahead on a short week to Dallas. Washington Commandos. I'm going to say it. Oh, we're going to be leaving here in a few minutes. All right, quickly, do your scores because I got to leave. Do your scores. Throw your scores in the chat. Who's going to win? You get the Super Bowl ring if you get the score right. No one got the score right last week. Yes, 3 weeks ago, someone got the score right, but they didn't pick a team. You have to give me the score and the team that is going to win or the teams that is going to lose because it's easier for me to figure out. Just as easy. So let's get those scores in for the next couple minutes. Let's see. OG says, I only listen to you, Authentic, and the Beard, and sometimes Bad Dog. Well, those are good people to listen to. Get your scores in now, guys. I think Dable don't like to show more than he needs to. By the way, the slow starts in the beginning of the season. I don't think it was that. I think they understand. I think the Giants understood what they have in their quarterback position, because if you look at the offense, it's very similar to the last regime. But the only difference is we are 7-2, and we weren't 7-2 under Jason Garrett. If we had a healthy Saquon Barkley and ran the same offense Jason Garrett ran last year, and the defense stepped up, we could have maybe had a winning record. Because it's all about Saquon. We got Sal dropping in the Lions saying, sadly, it's going to be 27-20. Have yourself a good day too, Kevin. Nick also, I'd say, is 27-24 G-Man. We got 6-3 Giants. Kyle says 42-17 Giants. I think the offense goes off. We got Edward saying Giants improved 8-2, 28-17. We have Eugene dropping in the score, coming in 27-20 Giants. We got Michael coming in going 26-20. We also have Authentic when Tim bows out gracefully. I'm getting my Giants news from you and the beard. We have Blair dropping in at 34-24 Giants, and we got J. Emmanuel coming in at 2017 G-Men as well. Come on, we got to get some more scores in here. I just thought I saw a Scott Mitchell comment. I did see a Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell comes back to life, throws for 4 touchdowns on him. Scott Mitchell, man. Scott Mitchell was not bad in Miami, and then he had that one he got the big contract, had a huge 4,000 plus yard passing season that one year. Everyone thought he was going to be the Messiah, and Detroit just didn't work out. He wasn't Chuck Long. He wasn't Joey Harrington. He was a 1 year. You wonder. Philly just signed. I saw that Dominican Sue. There's a lot of problems in Philadelphia. We got a lot of problems in Philadelphia. All right, come on. We got 2 more minutes before I got to check out of here, guys. Taking the wife out. And also, if you do not know, go follow the new podcast. Get off my lawn, the mad ramblings of a Gen Extra. Here's the link for it. I don't think you can click on the link. I thought you could click on the link. Can you hyperlink this? I don't know. Can you hyperlink something? I don't know. Go find it. It's not that hard to find. That's what she said. Let's see here. Live Scott Mitchell, lefty Brownie Nagel with one. Brownie Nagel didn't even have a good year. Brownie Nagel had like a good couple of games, and the whole Atlanta fiasco and the Jets. Brownie Nagel was just terrible. I can talk about old full-time football forever. Come on, guys. I got 2 more minutes. Drop your scores in. Win the Super Bowl ring. New York Giants, Eli Manning, 2011. It's even got like little things on the side. It's a heavy ring too, man. You just got to have a big finger. Just make sure you got a big finger. If you're going to wear it, you got to have big fingers. What do we got? We got no more scores? If we got no more scores, I got to check out, guys. 23 likes. Could have had at least 30. Could have had at least 30. My YouTube channel also has me trolling the Cowboys when they lose. I hope they do lose. Oh, I got a package that was delivered too. All right, come on, guys. I got 2 more minutes. I got 1 more minute. 1 more minute. The clock is ticking. Doot, 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 doot. James Williams says, James, give me a call. Not now, though, because I got to go out. Happy early Turkey Day to everyone and your families. Love y'all. Love you too, my brother. Much love, James. All right, we got 1 more minute. We got no more scores? No more scores. No more epiphanies. Sometimes you get your own beat in your head.
Stop audio.
Well, you know what? If we don't have any other scores, if we don't have anything else to close out here, it's time. We're out of here. It's Poppycockers. Best of Online Big Blue. Enjoyed it. Quick stream today. See everyone on some shorts on Sunday. And I'm out of here. Peace.